Namaskar, this is Professor Aman Agarwal from Indian Institute of Finance, and I'm very happy to welcome you to another series of Essence of Life and Growth, where we focus on positivity and bring before you people's experience, people's personal experience, their life experiences, of what they have, what they share, and what they have done in their journey of life on the essence of life and growth. I have another young, bright man, a person who has been part of my family. He is like my brother. He is like my family, more close than many family members I've ever had. And someone I have been connected with throughout my life. We got connected almost about 22 years back in 1999, and the connection is growing every day like the plant and the tree. Before I introduce him, I have a few disclaimers to make. We will be going live, and we will be having certain norms which are addressed accordance with the Ministry of Home Affairs for conducting webinars and Zoom meetings, so that there is no Zoom bombing. So we are on a secure platform. And as a guideline, we would request every one of you to keep your audios and videos off before we go for open question and answer sessions. So everybody is requested to keep them off. We will open them, and you're welcome to open your videos when we open the house of question and answers. The other disclaimer I would like to give is that the views expressed here are views which are personal of both the speaker and mine, and they do not represent the views of the institutions we represent. This is an informal forum where people come here sharing their life experiences, their essence of what they understand from life, and it has no bearing or understanding on any of the institutions which we represent. So if any error or anything which is to be taken must not be taken otherwise. Now I would like to brief you and welcome you to our guest today. Like many guests, he is a very special person to me. Not only that I know him for 20 years, as I told you, he is a family to me. And for the first time, I will be calling him His Excellency, Mr. Jacek Jankowski, and which I have never done because I always call him by his first name. But I must look at the decorum which he has earned and has been earning for not now, for decades now, as the Honorable Ambassador for various destinations for European Union in Africa and other parts of the world. He is currently the Ambassador of the European Union Delegation to Zambia and Comesa, based out of Zambia. Zambia is again a very important destination for me because Zambia is where my grandfather, my mother's father, and his wife lived and taught as a John Hopkins Fulbright scholar for quite some time. So Zambia has a close connect, and I hope to be in Zambia soon to trouble Jacek and his wife Vanya and be with them. He has been Deputy Director of Political Director Affairs at Ministry of Foreign Affairs between 2018 and 19. He's also been the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenary for Poland to Ethiopia, Djibouti, and South Sudan, 3 countries which he had in Lebanon for almost a period of 5 years between 2012 to 17, as a permanent representation of the African Union to UNCEP and at Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Prior to that, he has held various other positions, including being with the Prime Minister of Poland for quite some time before his journey was entered by me in his life. A very important component of his in my life are because we have been connected not only as roommates at Columbia, as colleagues, as classmates at Columbia University, but also to the fact that he was in love with this woman for a good large number of years, and I was able to convince him to, or request him or get him married to this woman as the best man. And I hope he doesn't curse me for that. And he has been enjoying those pleasurable moments, which I enjoy because they have been part of almost all family events which we have had at my place in India, irrespective of where they have been, in which part of the world they have been. So I feel blessed to have him in my life. And I begin this journey of the essence of life now with you, Jacek. I will be putting you in spotlight. And before I begin with my question answers, which are there for you, I would request if you can give some inputs on your life. How has the journey been from a young Jacek, which was 6, 7, 8 years old, moved to teens, moved to college, and then from college moved to the university, working in various positions in the government, being with me at Columbia, visiting India and other places, and where you are in Africa for almost a decade now. How has this journey been, and what all teachings have you learned for your life from this journey? If you can brief in about 5 to 10 minutes about before I begin with the question and answers. Jacek, to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Aman Agarwal. Good evening, India. Good evening, Professor, and all people who are participating in this video seminar. What can I say? I think that when I was born, let's say in 3 weeks, I will celebrate my 51, because I was born on June 1969. I think all steps in my life I took ran me to meet Aman and to start our friendship in July 2000, yeah? So less than 22 years still, yeah? And I think every decision I took in my life navigated me to meet you and to become your friends. And you know, I value our friendship very much, yeah? So the journey started with primary school, 1 year kindergarten in Poland, in Warsaw. After that, you know, primary school, high school, and I graduated from 2 universities in Poland, political science at Warsaw University and finance and banking at Warsaw School of Economics. And I started my professional career. One day, I decided to apply for a scholarship at Columbia University, and I was successful in this competition to get the scholarship. No? And I came to New York in July 2000. It was most probably such a hot weather like tonight, today in India. And I remember somebody knocking my door. I was, you know, after a long trip from Poland to United States to New York in completely new environment with the jet lag, and somebody called my door and asked me a simple question, what's my name? And I didn't understand this question, because it was also with Indian speed of asking questions, yeah. But after some time I get used to, and now I can communicate also with Professor Agarwal. It was on this educational side, yeah. In terms of professional experience, now mostly I work during my career, if we can call this my journey, professional journey as a career. It was mostly with the Polish public administration and international institutions, such like the World Bank in Washington, World Bank Institute, and Energy Charter Secretariat, special dedicated organization combining European Union, European countries with post-Soviet Union countries, and this organization mostly deals with gas and crude oil issues. Yeah, so very important for the economy of many countries. Yeah, and as Professor Agarwal mentioned, when I was quite young, I had a great pleasure to work with the Prime Minister of Poland as his assistant. Yeah, after some time, I joined the Foreign Ministry, and I served for 7 years in Brussels in the Polish permanent representation to the European Union. So it's very important Polish, let's call it embassy abroad, because since our membership at the European Union, you know, it's not even, we cannot say that this is foreign embassy, because around 70% of the laws and regulations which are adopted in Poland are implemented in Poland, are the European Union legal solutions and regulations. In 2019, I joined the European External Action Service, so-called Foreign Service for the European Union, and I became the ambassador of the European Union to Zambia and COMESA. What can I say? Yeah. So in brief, this is my life experience, and I'm very lucky that during this journey of mine, I have met so many important people who really changed me even, yeah, who really had a big impact on my personality. One of them, of course, is Professor Aman Agarwal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacek, for that brief introduction. I would also appreciate if you could give that how your understanding of life changed with time. May not be decade-wise, but if you can give instances that when you were in Poland, or when you moved to the US, when you moved back, or when you moved to Africa, how has the understanding of life, the essence of life, in your perception changed?
The lesson, the understanding of life, of world, changes with this. The more gray hair we have, the more better we are able to understand the world. Yeah, and also for me it was very important when I started traveling abroad or studying or working abroad to also discover different cultures, because contrary to India, Polish society, I'm Polish, yeah, it's very homogeneous. Around 95% of our citizens are simply Polish people. So we are not exposed to different culture, to different languages, yeah. So when I started, for example, working and studying abroad, I explored different cultures and different values also, yeah. And I think especially my stay, my service in Africa have opened my eye that we should value different issues in our life, because people in Poland used to complain about the living conditions, about weather, about the salary level. But if you live and if you work in Africa, you start understanding that we Polish people, we are blessed to be born in Europe after the Second World War. Yeah, because to be born in Europe before or during the Second World War was not blessing, but now, as Europe really enjoys almost 70 years of peace and prosperity, and we are really blessed. Yeah, so this episodes, this year spent in Africa, also opened my eye very widely. And now I really admire what I have achieved and what I have. Yeah.
I'm very happy to see recently that you have been getting these videos of not only African culture, dance, music on the Africa.He, but also requesting other ambassadors from different countries to give their message. I really like this idea. What was the initiation? Because this talks about the way people think, their perceptions. It's a beautiful thing which you have done. So I thought maybe if you can share with us what exactly motivated you to do that.
No, it is very simple, because the European Union, it's an organization which serves its member states and its societies. Yeah, so the European Union consists of 27 member states, and May is a very special month to us, because it's the Europe May and Africa, the Europe month and African month. Yeah, so both European Union and the African Union celebrate its birthdays in May. The European Union on 9th of May, and the African Union, the Africa as such, celebrates Africa Freedom Day on 25th of May. That's why I decided also to ask ambassadors who serve in Lusaka in Zambia, and they represent our member states, so European Union member states, to give their message about the European Union project, yeah, and how do they see their life because of the European Union, and how do they perceive their life also in Zambia, in Africa, yeah. But of course, when we serve abroad, we don't only serve for our countries, we serve for both hosting country and so in my case, it's Zambia or this international organization, COMESA, and also for sending countries, yeah? So we should be a kind of bridge between two societies, two countries, yeah? And Professor Agarwal mentioned this two pieces of music. The culture is a very good bridge, yeah, to join two different societies, African society with European Union, with European society, and culture can really link and unite societies, yeah, because for music there is no boundaries, yeah, for songs there are no boundaries, no limits. We can do together, we can enjoy together, and we can promote both African culture, African societies, and European culture, European societies. And I must say that I thanks to my also my staff, I have identified such a good artist, Zambian artist, that even me trying to sing, not singing, I was not able to spoil our final outcome, so our final songs, yeah, because of my two words sing contribution to this song, yeah.
Yes. You know, before I go to my questions, I have also known that you know, from you in specific and others as well, but more specific from you and Anya, that Polish particularly know a lot of languages. And in India, although we have a lot of languages in India, but language is a very important component of understanding culture, because language is something which links societies and cultures and talks about life. You know, can you throw some light as to what's motivated so many Polish to know so many languages?
We are quite small society in terms of numbers. We are just 37 million people, and our language does not dominate within the world. Yeah, so in this position, if we want to not only compete on the world stage, yeah, but if we want to be a really active part of the society, we need to speak. Yeah, it's yeah. In the past, of course, people used to speak many languages, but now with our lingua franca, English, we are getting more lazy and lazy in learning foreign languages because everybody speaks English. Yeah, so it makes our life a little bit easier. If you think that more than 1 billion people speaks English in Delhi, why should we learn different languages? Yeah, so of course it's globalization also. Yeah, that with globalization and especially with computers, development of internet, English is now not a foreign language. It's like a tool for us. Yeah, like a driving license. Yeah. So if you want to be 21st century man or woman, you need to have a driving license, you need to know computers, you need to know social media, and you need to speak English, yeah? But in the past, yes, we learned different languages. I had at school Russian language as a foreign language, German language as a foreign language. Other people learned French or English, yeah, so it depends, yeah, on the curriculum.
No, true. So you beautifully explained this, especially when you said the driving license, because it's important. And a lot of people don't bring this particular harsh fact of life out when they want to explain things. They like to make it more diplomatic. But here I'm happy that a diplomat is not using that diplomatic language when he comes on my forum, at least. I would now begin with my issues, which I wanted to raise. And I would request if you can outline based on your understanding, your experience, or what are the key factors which you feel are there, which are important as a sense of life and growth.
I think we have two legs. One is a private leg, private life, and the second foundation is it's your professional leg, yeah, and they are interlinked. They are very strongly interlinked, yeah. When we talk about success in life, we mostly think about the professional development and this kind of success, yeah. But they are very much interlinked and they can support each other, yeah. So during our life, and we have different phases in our lives, yeah. So high school, primary school, university, work starts, yeah. And it's very important to succeed professionally, yeah. If somebody is not satisfied professionally, won't be happy at home. If somebody is not happy at home, if somebody has no his or her private life, friends, family members, it has also a negative impact on the way we work, yeah. So how has it changed during my life? I think when I was younger, I really paid much more attention to the professional development, professional experience, and professional success. Now, with being above 50, I value also more and more other aspects of our life, yeah? I value very much that I'm not left alone, that I have wife, I have family, I have friends, yeah? That sometimes when I'm in a not very good mood, I can call, I can talk. Now we hardly write now, yeah. So, but with this modern tools of communication, we almost skip this beautiful art of writing letters, yeah, because it's much easier to phone using WhatsApp or other tools of communication, or now with this Zoom, WebEx, we can talk, and it's much easier than to write, yeah. But it's very important that everybody, and I really appreciate this more and more, to strike a balance between the professional life and private life. And the more older I am, the more value I attach to the private life as well, yeah, because at the end, even if you are, I don't know, if you are a financially very successful person, if you are, let's say, in terms of academic development, very successful person, but you need someone to share your success with. And if you don't have someone to share your success with, it means that you miss something, you lack something, yeah. And it's not a 100% fulfillment if you just digest your success being alone. It's not the same. It's not the same, yeah.
True.
And very important, not only to share your success, but also to get feedback from your friends or family members, yeah. Because you can always trust them that they will tell you the truth, and this is also very important. The honest opinion about you, about your job, about your failures, or about your successes, yeah.
True. No, when you mentioned about writing letters, the other day my son, who is just 6 years old, he asked me about pen friends, pen pals, and what are pen pals. And it came as an interesting fact, and I had to explain to him, because he may never experience what it means like being a pen pal. And when his father and mother talk, that my father was in Nigeria and my mother was in India, that they would write letters which will take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month to reach. The kind of connection which was there, to wait for a call, to make a call, trunk call. Today, I connect with you. I'm connecting it with people from about 5 different countries already in our panel, which are there. So, you know, they are connected. But there was a time when you had to wait. You had to wait for a call. You had to book a call. And I was a small kid. I remember those times when only few people had telephones. And you had to dial instead of calling or making a call by voice. So times have changed, but the essence still remains. The relationship, as you purely said, is at breaking that balance between private and professional and keeping that trust component alive. It's very critically important. Yes.
I think, if I may just make a small comment, that
Yes.
the objective is always the same. So we need to communicate, because in general, people should, most of us, we need to live together with other people, yeah? And of course, as Professor Agarwal rightly said, we change the communication tools, but the essence is the same. How can we communicate with others, yeah? With the economy, with the development, we are becoming more lazy and lazy. So it's much easier to phone, to call, to see the person than to write a letter. And of course, I remember, to call abroad, you need to order with the post office, for example, your phone call, international phone calls. And in Poland, we waited, I don't know, sometimes the whole night to be
Yes.
connected with United States, for example, yeah? Even when we started our journey at Columbia University in July 2000, not all of us had access to computers. Very few, yeah? So I still received, for example, newspapers sent by my friends from Poland to United States, yeah, because I wanted to read newspapers. Now, with internet, I read in exactly the same moment, like a person sitting in Warsaw.
True.
So it's completely different world, yeah?
True. I agree with you. You know, with that, I would like you to, you know, talk about, we saw the change we have taken, digital implosion has taken place. How does one go about celebrating life? Because we are living in worlds and times of uncertainties. So with that, the definition of celebration also has changed. But most of my speakers from all over the world have said the very basic genesis of celebration of life is quite different, and it does not get influenced by these worldly charms. So what is your opinion on celebration of life? How does one go about celebrating life?
But what do you mean by celebration of life? Celebration, I don't know, in our case, Christmas, New Year Eve, or my birthday, or just enjoying life every moment, yeah?
Celebration not in terms of making festivities or celebrating festivities. Celebration, that means you feel happy, you feel overjoyed, what is that gives you that satisfaction, the real interest about life, of, you know, that is you're actually celebrating like Christmas, your own life.
No, in general, I think that all of us, we live our lives to leave our fingerprints here. And this is in terms of professional life and also in terms of private life, yeah? We live for something, yeah, to do something, to leave our fingerprints here, yeah? And of course, you celebrate, I know that it's slogan, yeah, but we should enjoy every day of our life, because every day is unique. There is no repetition. There is no return ticket. Yeah, we have only, we have, every day is unique and it will never happen again. Yeah, but of course it's not true, because sometimes we are tired and we don't have celebrate. We don't have even enough power to celebrate these days. Yeah, but we have Himalayas on enthusiasm, and we have, let's say, oceans of non-enthusiasm mood, yeah, and enthusiastic mood, yeah. That's why it's very important to enjoy a good moment, and to take lessons from the bad moment, yeah? Because also if every day is very good day, very successful day, very happy day, we don't appreciate this, yeah? We need to have a comparison. Without comparison, it's difficult to really admire good moments in our lives, yeah?
True. True.
And we celebrate our lives. We celebrate our lives in moments of huge achievement, huge satisfaction, but also we celebrate our lives with, you know, very small issues like, I don't know, coffee with your wife,
Yes.
Phone call with your friend, yeah? This is also celebration, not only moments when we achieve, you know, Himalaya mountains, yeah?
Correct.
And I know that it's not easy to celebrate every day, but the closer I'm till the end, the more celebrate I every day, yeah?
Yes.
Because if I were 20, I just was thinking about what can I do today in order to have a funny and nice day. When I'm 50 plus, of course, my perception has changed a lot, yeah?
True.
And the closer I see the sunset, the more I really value this kind of celebrations. Not only these big ones, yeah. For example, in my case, the biggest achievement, the biggest moment, the most the moment I feel the most satisfaction, it's for example presenting credentials to the president of receiving state. Yeah, this is a part of our diplomatic life. When you arrive, you should present your credentials to the president. It's a huge celebration for me internally, for my family, for my wife. Yeah, and this is unique. Why it's huge? Because it's once per I don't know how many years. Yeah, but you have this small moments. Yeah. Like today, I celebrate a discussion with Professor Aman Agarwal and his students, yeah, and it's also a very nice moment. Completely different with this, you know, with this touch, personal touch, which makes me also very happy, yeah, and which helps me celebrate our life, yeah, our friendship, our relation.
True. True. You should call me Aman and not Professor Aman Agarwal, because those titles are not for you. And I would really appreciate if you call me Aman. As I said, it's an informal discussion portal and not very formal. And the other thing is that we are having more people from outside, CEOs from US, we have persons from UAE, we have people from Africa, we have people from even Malaysia who have joined us, and people with about 30, 40, 50, 60 years of life. So we have our age group also there. So who are listening, come from different walks and different places to listen to you. I wanted to also talk because I have seen you work on yourself a lot personally, and you have invested in yourself time and again. You take your breaks, you take life with ease, you enjoy life, but then you have invested in yourself. You know, and I read this, that invest in yourself to induce growth and happy living. Do you believe in this as well?
Could you repeat, because the last part I skipped the last part.
I have read that invest in yourself to induce growth and happy living. Do you believe in this?
No, in our life there is a time of investment and there is a time of harvesting also. Yeah. So it's very important. It's very important not only to invest but also to harvest. Yeah. And also to invest, not only to harvest. Yeah.
Correct. Correct. So it must go on. And
I would say that no, there are parts of our life, and of course, in every part of our life, we should try to invest and harvest. But also, we see that in different parts of our life, there is a different combination of investment and harvesting. Yeah?
True, true.
With aging, I think I invest less and less, and I try to harvest, more and more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, good. You know, I was also reading, and I don't know if it's more people from across the globe who have said, but not everyone, not from too many from Europe, that, you know, if you want to achieve happiness and comfort in life, in terms of understanding life, you need to meditate, you need to develop soul consciousness, and you need to have a spirituality. Do you think are these three things critical, or you feel they are not so critical in terms of inducing happiness in one's life?
Of course, everybody has different needs concerning spirituality. Yeah. But as I said, we live our lives for something. Yeah. There is a plan. I don't know who has done this plan for us, but when I think about my job, I don't think about a place where I have income from.
Correct.
I don't think about my place only in terms of professional satisfaction. I came here to do something, to deliver, yeah? And this is the spirituality. Mm-hmm. People have different approaches and can use this spirituality, can have different motivation, yeah? Mm-hmm. For some people will be just motivation, for another people will be religion helping, and both always are good one if they help. Uh-huh. But what I'm saying, there is something beyond only, let's say, financial satisfaction, materialistic satisfaction, and materialistic life. Yeah.
Correct.
And this is the spirituality. And this spirituality also makes people beautiful people, creatures. Yeah. So that's why it's very important to think, to analyze, to have this internal life. Yeah. And yes, for everyone, it might be completely different dimension, completely different. Spirituality can have completely meditation, completely different meaning, yeah, completely different definition. It might be a completely different definition, yeah. But I don't want to say that we are different from other animals living on the earth, yeah. But we have this something inside. For some people, it's a soul. For some people, it's just analyzing, this ability to analyze, to have reflection, yeah, to have deep thoughts about our lives, about the world, about everything, yeah. So, but it's important, yeah. We have body, but we have also brain and soul.
Correct. And so you think the meditation links both the heart and the soul?
Once again, meditation leads to where?
Does it link the heart and the brain?
I think depends on every person, yeah. But of course, the best situation is with there is no contradiction between heart and brain, yeah. So if they follow the same direction.
Correct.
And if meditation can help to pull feelings and brain together, it's great, yeah. Because the worst situation is if we have your feelings saying something and your brain saying something completely different, yeah? And you have this internal conflict, yeah? So if meditation helps us find, this internal peace, excellent.
Sure.
For some people, it might be meditations. For some people, it might be religion to find, this internal peace, yeah? Internal stability.
Tell us something about the life in Africa.
No, the life in Africa, it's quite different than in Europe. People smile. People are quite people are very friendly. First of all, yeah. They, especially people in Zambia and Ethiopia. I must say that I was always very positively surprised in the beginning, because after that I get used to this situation that. You come here and you find many friends very quickly. Yeah, people are really open to foreigners, and they are really willing to discover you, to teach you about your countries. Yeah, so it's a very unique opportunity to learn the culture, to not to learn languages, because there are so many languages in Africa. It's impossible, 2,000 languages, yeah, to learn. But we can learn people, we can discover them, and they are very beautiful people here in Zambia also, like in Ethiopia. And it's a unique opportunity to live here, to spend time with them, and it's really, it gives you distance to your life. Yeah, the background has completely changed now. So Africa is beautiful because it's diverse. It has a lovely, very splendid culture, but also wildlife. Yeah, we've seen Victoria Falls, one of the miracles of the world. Yeah, natural miracles of the world. Victoria Falls. Yeah, everybody knows Niagara Falls, but Victoria Falls, I think it's even more beautiful fall. You have many animals. Some of them, they are quite unfriendly, like crocodiles. Yeah. So, but you can really enjoy the cuisine. I like also the Zambian cuisine. So, Zambian music, Zambian culture. I have never complained about my life and work in Africa. Never. And if I can continue, I wish to continue.
Great. I feel Africa is going to be the place. It has so much unexplored, which needs to be explored and people to understand around the world. Why don't you tell us something about your Zambian Indian cuisine mixed food, which you are enjoying lately?
No, because I think you are referring to a place I stay now, because the residence is under renovation, and I have been living since 1st of February in Sarovar Hotel. So it's Indian management, Indian chain of hotels, and I have this opportunity, not unique, because Indian cuisine is worldwide, very well known. Enjoy the Indian cuisine here in Zambia, but I must say that still food prepared by you in our dormitory was much better. It was the best ever Indian food I have ever had.
Thank you. I remember you used to not eat so much spices, but then your face would become red after eating Indian spices and the masalas and stuff, but you still loved them. I felt so nice, and I'm happy that everything went well and everything is fine with my cuisines, because I was not ready. I started learning cooking in London when at LSE, and then I was not an expert. So questions.
I don't know if I can show you, but this is red chili pickles.
Yes. Oh,
almost empty. You see, almost empty.
You can see that. Very nice. So I have three more questions for you before we close. One is, what do you think is a success mantra for tomorrow?
Success mantra for tomorrow?
Mm-hmm.
No. If no remedy for COVID-19. Yeah, I know that it's very obvious. Yeah, but it affected this COVID-19 pandemic has affected so much our lives and will affect our lives still. Yeah, especially here in Africa. According to some estimations, the peak in Zambia, for example, will take place, let's say September, October, maybe, yeah, with many people affected. Yeah, so sorry for being such a giving you such a straightforward answer, but our mantra for tomorrow is to bring the world back to the normal situation, to the normal functioning of the world, and finding remedy for the COVID-19 pandemic, because otherwise it has a huge negative impact on education, on jobs for people, on our lives. So that's why I think this is the most important, to mitigate and finally to win this war against COVID-19. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
After that, very balanced development of the world. Yeah. We should cooperate. I believe very strongly in multilateralism, and we should cooperate together on different fora to have a very well balanced development of the world. Not only North being rich, South being less rich, but to give chance to everyone in terms of education, and after that in terms of professional development. Yeah, if we have education, if we have professional development, of course we will have peace and stability all over the world, and this is very important to give a chance, especially to the youth, yeah? Because youth will run the world when we will be already retired. Yeah. So if we want to have a very peaceful retirement age, we need to take care about the youth now. But in a, let's say, 6 months, 1 year perspective, COVID-19, it goes without saying. Yeah, this is the condition sine qua non for the well-being of the world. Yeah.
And last two questions for you. You have been in policy making, you have been as an operational head, implementing diplomacy, government policy framework at various stages of your life. How do you think government can induce happiness in people's life? Although large number of governments are trying to make happiness index, make it as part of GDP, create ministries like Ministry of Loneliness and others to try and resolve loneliness and reduce loneliness. But how could they do it? There is no pill. It's not a pill or a medicine or an injection which can be given. But governments can create frameworks. In your opinion, what would be your advice to governments to induce, how should they go about inducing happiness in lives for people?
I think this happiness depends mostly on people, yeah? And we can reach happiness by our work and private life, yeah? What I mean, what kind of role I see for the government? That government should allow people to let people dreams come true. And when I was born in Poland in '69, so first 20 years of my life, I spent in not a democratic country with central planned economy and lack of democracy. So that's why it's very important for governments to secure both freedom and democracy in terms of this, let's say, spiritual development,
Mhm.
and also market-oriented economy for the economic development, yeah?
Mhm.
And the rest depends on people.
Mhm. True.
So first of all, I see the role for the government not to limit invention of people,
Yes.
not to limit people at all, yeah, because they should have this ability to do what do they want, of course, still respecting the legal, still respecting laws, yeah, but to give people a chance to be responsible for their lives.
True.
If they are fully responsible in terms of this democratic values and economic values, it's up to them. There is no Ministry of Happiness.
True. But I think the government should introduce a Ministry of Happiness which works on this particular task. Maybe you being at the European Union can think about introducing that at the European Union someday.
Look, why I'm saying this is very important, yeah, because I remember to visit a Western country when I was teenager was almost impossible.
Yes.
Because Poland was, you know, socialist country behind this iron curtain, so we didn't have passports, we needed visas to go abroad. It was very expensive for us to travel abroad, to buy a single bottle of Coca-Cola. It was such expensive, yeah, for us, for Polish people. That's why it's very important that now with this globalized world, we can really live our lives in a way we want to live our lives, yeah? So it's very important that we don't have this, let's say, legal constraints, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And the second aspect, it's some of people would like to have very successful professional life in terms of businesses, for example, yeah? So the government should not limit, should not stop people from doing this. If I want to go to India,
mm-hmm.
I should have this opportunity to go to India. If I want to read different newspapers, newspapers being pro-government or anti-government, I should have this opportunity. This is called freedom, yeah?
True.
Freedom and democracy.
True. My last question before I open the house for questions, and I'll go to Mohammed Halim Khan Saab and then Ashok Laha, who is based out of US, but with us in India these days. Before I go to them, my last question, as I said, I would like your advice to the students and the youth, especially because they are perplexed with this problem of plenty and this problem which digital influx is bringing to us today. Yes, this is ease, this is there, but then it also causes a kind of problem for us tomorrow. How do you think, how do you see, or what could be the message to the youth or the students?
The message to students
and youth like
and
you and me.
Youth like us, yeah?
Yes.
Even sky is not the limit.
True.
Believe and dream. Everybody must start his or her trip, yeah? So believe and dream, and even if people say, oh, you are crazy, you are naive, it's impossible, believe and dream and try to implement your dreams and beliefs. And even at the end, you will be surprised how far you can go. Mm-hmm. Sometimes really even sky is not the limit. Yeah.
So how far have you gone in your dreams? Apart from my relationship.
I think I'm about to sky.
I'm very happy to hear that. With that, I will now close my question answers.
I think I think the ceiling is just above my head. Yeah, so I'm satisfied.
Okay, very nice. I will now go to Dr. Mohammed Halim Khan Saab. Dr. Halim Khan Saab has been Secretary Government of India which is like the topmost position any bureaucrat can have, and very upright and officer. He was with the Ministry of Finance when he died, but he has been with various departments, including Ministry of Defense. Dr. Halim sir.
Good evening, Ambassador Jankowski. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes, I can. I can.
So it's a great opportunity for me to hear you. And I really appreciate your statement that there should be somebody to share and care. So that I'm sure it must be contributing a lot to the very high SDI which Poland people enjoy. I understand Poland is very high on SDIs. And I mean, you are in Jamaica, so you are having a feel of both worlds virtually. Will you like to reflect upon what India can do to say have a greater interaction with Jamaica?
I didn't get the question.
I said, since you are in Jamaica, so will you like to say, reflect upon, comment what India can do to enhance its interaction with Jamaica? Zambia, sorry, Zambia. You are in Zambia.
Zambia.
Yeah, so if India has to enhance its interaction with Zambia, what do you think are the low-hanging fruits?
No, I see at least 3 dimensions. Academic cooperation, because you have many excellent professors and you can share your academic experience with countries like Zambia. Second, very important dimension of potential cooperation between India and Zambia, I see medical cooperation. You have excellent medical doctors in India, and especially some countries in Africa, they lack this health sector. And the health sector is not only about tools, but also about people, especially about people, yeah, because without tools, a doctor can help. Tools without a doctor can do anything, yeah. So I see this cooperation comes to my mind with medical doctors, especially now during the COVID-19 crisis, yeah, because the health sectors in Africa are generally not very strong one. And the second, it's business cooperation, yeah. And business cooperation is very important. So the more Indian companies and business people present in Zambia, the stronger ties are between both countries. And it's very important because if we have very successful economic cooperation, everything will follow. What does it mean everything will follow? Culture, people-to-people contact, education. So this is something which brings countries together, much closer. Yeah? So this is very important. So I would say these 3 aspects. Yeah. First, education. Zambians, they have universities. They speak English like you, so there is no problem with communication. The tool is already there, and there is a left-hand traffic in Zambia, so it's not a problem for you to drive. Yeah. For me, it was a challenge in the beginning because in Poland, like in the mostly everywhere in Europe, we drive on the right side. Yeah. So this is of course a joke. So education, health sector, and business. And if we have good cooperation in business, you know, the political cooperation will follow, the cultural cooperation will follow, because now in 21st century, before COVID and after COVID, I think the most important relations are economic relations between countries. Yeah.
Ambassador, thank you very much. You have given some very good ideas, but now I'm getting a little greedy. And if you permit, if Professor Agrawal permits me, then I can follow up by another question.
Please go ahead.
So, because I was, you see, Poland has been a very old habitation. I mean, or you can say even in a civilizational terms also. India is also a very old culture, civilization. But what I saw during my surveys that while Germany, Russia, France, UK had a lot of multi-level, multi-dimensional interaction with India. That way, Poland-India interaction has been very low-key. So, will you like to make any statement on that?
I don't know if it's very low-key. Maybe one day I will be posted in Delhi as Polish ambassador or the European Union ambassador.
You are welcome.
And I can, but I know that I will come, but it's not, decision is not mine. Yeah, I wish. Yeah, it would be really Mount Everest for me. Yeah, but with this, of course, we can upgrade the relations between both countries, and difficult to say because I've been several times in India and I met many Polish people there, and I think there is also not big, but there is well present Indian population also in Poland, that we have this relation. So we cannot say that we are not in touch at all. Of course, always we can do more and better. It goes without saying, yeah? But now we are not so far geographically from each other, yeah? So we can upgrade our relations, and maybe if one day I will be Polish ambassador or the European Union ambassador in Delhi, I will do my best to change your opinion on the bilateral relations between both our beautiful countries.
Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor.
We should now go to Ashok Laha. Ashok Laha is again an old friend and also CEO of Untitled, American company based in India and the US. And he's also an adjunct professor at the Indian Institute of Finance. Ashok, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ambassador. It's a pleasure to meet you or talk with you over the Zoom. I'll pick up your first last point. You said that there should be academic cooperation between Zambia and India. So I probably recommend we should send Amon Agarwal to Zambia as a visiting professor there. Amon Agarwal is a great professor, great friend, you know, he's younger than me. So he'll be a great asset to the Zambia. If you can make it happen, that will be a great thing to do. Anyway.
I can't do it, yeah. But well noted, and I will talk to the Indian ambassador here in Lusaka,
sure.
And I will convey the message to him, because it's his responsibility. Yeah, the cooperation between academic cooperation between India and Zambia. It's not my responsibility. It's Indian ambassador here in Lusaka responsibility. Yeah, so I will convey the message, and I will tell him that there is a person who can come and really bring very good financial experience to Zambia. And also it's very important that if Professor Agarwal comes to Delhi, we will to Lusaka, we can save money on his accommodation, because he can stay at my place free of cost.
Okay. Yeah. Amon, that's a great idea.
Yes.
I recommend that. Anyhow, I met when I was in Northwestern, you know, I was in Northwestern in 70s. I met a police postgraduate student there.
Mhm.
So he told me number of things about because I was very curious. I'm always curious. So I asked him about the police life and everything else. If I recall that 40 years ago, he told me that police life was extremely influenced by the Russian at the time frame. Russian influence at the time frame. That is 70s. Now the world has changed. Now, you went to the Colombia for your, I presume, for the grad studies. So, and you spend Columbia is one of the great university in US. So you spend a number of years in US and everything else. What do you think of the US culture, US life as you see it, US culture versus Polish culture, Poland? From the entrepreneur point of view, from everything point of view, happiness and everything else.
The difference between US and Polish culture, or similarities between US and
Polish culture?
You know, no, Polish culture is my culture. Yeah, I was born, so for me it's something very, 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 very normal, typical. Yeah, not very special because it's mine. Yeah? So you don't really appreciate this because it's yours. It's like air. You don't appreciate air as long as you have air and you can inhale. Yeah. So you treat this as something. It's always with you. Yeah. The US culture, you know what, I like it very much in US, in New York, when we started our journey with Columbia University and after that in Washington. This optimism of people there in United States. In Poland, we complain more, yeah? And we are more pessimistic than the US society. And secondly, you know, everybody was well received there because contrary to our countries, of course, except Indian people who have been living there for centuries, everybody has come to United States. One person came 1 day ago, one person came 10 years ago, one person came 3 generations ago because his or her ancestors came, yeah? So everybody came to this country. And this makes the United States a little bit unique in comparison with our countries when our societies like in India or in Poland have been living for hundreds of years or, you know, in terms of India, maybe thousands of years even, yeah? So I was a little bit surprised, positively surprised by this, yeah, that this culture is different culture. So everybody, there are no foreigners in United States, yeah. Everybody is at home then. So, and everybody is very positive, optimistic, and everybody has dreams. And this I like very much, yeah, because our life without dreaming is quite boring, yeah. So we need to have this kind of expectations towards our future development, to our future position. And for us Polish people, for many years, especially even before the war, Second World War, when Polish society was not very rich, but after the war, especially during socialist time, it was a promised land to go to United States. Yeah, it was my dream when I was teenager to visit New York, to see national parks in the United States. It was a dream land for Polish people. That's why we have such a big population living in United States. And according to some numbers, Chicago is the second biggest Polish city in the world after our capital city, Warsaw. And I remember once I went with Aman and who else? With Lucio, our Argentinian friend, to the Polish district in New York. And, you know, I was like, I had Polish cuisine, Polish newspapers, Polish TV. So I was like in Poland, being in New York, in Brooklyn. Yeah. So it was very strange experience. Yeah. And our culture is a little bit more local culture. Yeah. Polish culture. US culture is a culture which everybody knows US movies, US singers, US writers. Yeah, so it's a globalized culture. Yeah, so we have to really admire it. Yeah, but also I remember when we left New York for Washington in 2001. I realized that although New York is not even the capital city of United States, but it's a capital city of the world. Yeah, it's the city #1 in the world. Yeah, so this is my impression. Also in terms of culture. Yeah, we lived close to Broadway, so Broadways mean theaters, means high culture. Yeah, so we really enjoyed this time. Yeah,
in the Riverside Drive.
Yeah, Broadway is a very nice place. Okay, I got another question I can ask.
Yes. So please
Okay.
go ahead.
I think it lead to my last question. You talked about that a person should, the first you should be successful in a professional life, but as you grow older, you have to share your professional happiness with your private life, private friends, family, and everything else. In US, in India right now, like I am married for 35 years, one woman, 37 times, one woman. I'm married 35 years, but in US, because of that culture, because of that entrepreneurship, because of the demand for those things, you see that breakup of the marriage, personal life goes quite a lot. The divorce and everything else happens almost quite a lot. So in fact, US, I see that, I live in there. I see that lots of my friends, they're more close to their friend than their family or wives, because they don't know, they go quite a lot. But in India right now, the family life is very stable life. At least in my case, in my generation, it's very stable life. But I'm sure something with Amon also. How is that? How is the private life in Poland look like? Is it like more like India, one woman, one wife? Most of the people married, or something. US, most of the people have got a, nothing wrong in it, but they break up, quite a lot.
No, I think most probably, if I don't know the statistics about this, yeah, but if we compare the, let's say, rate of divorces now and let's say 50 years ago or 70 years ago, I think, of course, because of the change of the societies, it goes up. Yeah, it has gone up. Yeah, so I think we should not generalize here, because every divorce, it's a failure. Yeah, but because always when people get married, they think like you, it's a life sentence. But we have different motivation for divorces, and we cannot judge people because of this. Yeah, sometimes a divorce is much better solution than staying in a very toxic marriage. Yeah, people are more aware about their rights, especially women now, yeah, nowadays. Secondly, there is a low social pressure, yeah, because in the past there was a very high pressure of families, friends, and no, you cannot divorce. Husband was the very bad person, but you cannot divorce because it's shame on family. No, it's a shame on the person within the marriage who behaves not properly. And that's why I think we should not judge, we should not generalize, and every divorce is a failure, yeah, because at least in the beginning, people thought that they would stay together till the end, yeah. You were lucky because you married your wife.
Yeah, I know. I'm married for 37 years. No, I'm not judging anybody, and I got lots of friends. I'm not judging anybody. I think it's probably better for somebody to have a bad marriage than a divorce to do that. You know, I'm not making judgmental call. I say that I see the cultural difference. You know, that here we spend too much time to adjust. And there are divorces going on here also, you know, but we spend more time in adjusting here to fix the problem, you know, rather than that in US it's okay to 2 years contract, get out and something go back again. That's the one thing.
No, I also agree that it's for different societies, we have different solutions. Something which is acceptable in one country, it's not till the end acceptable in the different country. So I understand this, but I value the freedom. I value freedom very much. So if there is a bad marriage, I don't think so people should stay, because we, according to my understanding, we live only once.
Yes, that's
so we cannot suffer our life. So sometimes it's better to cut off than suffer the whole life.
I fully agree too.
Yeah, just to add
so
to what
I think
go ahead,
I think everybody before getting married should do better due diligence.
Yeah, I know that's true.
So we should know each other much better. So because also our decision should be taken not only based on feelings but also based on our brain. We should like the second person, the wife, a wife or a husband, because it's not only about affection, emotions, but also, do you like this person? Would you like with this person to spend next 50 years of your life? Can you imagine this? And that's why this due diligence is very important, and this screening exercise, that we are sure that this is the person, and not everybody is lucky like you, that you met your wife, you got married, and you got a life sentence with her.
Or life happiness, whatever. Anyway, do you look at it?
Yes. Now, just to add to what Jacek said, I have, apart from where Jacek has taken me all over Poland, I have had the fortune to travel south of Poland, Krakow, Katowice, various other places. And people I met from different generations, younger people, elder people. Life is very much like in India. The closeness, the relationship between families, brothers, sisters, and so on and so forth. Yes, there is that individualistic structure which is coming in with prosperity, with women earning, with men earning, having their own lifestyles. But even then, I found the closeness and the family systems are still there. I stayed with him the way his mother cooked for me, made something vegetarian for me. Then when I stayed with his father in the summer home, he made things for me. That love and affection and the care which is there, which we see in Indian families, I think is also there very much in the Polish culture. And I think it will remain there because it's something which they are in, as Jacek said before, it is something which you grow with. And I think, he's not able to appreciate, as he said about air, these things which I saw from an outside perspective than from person being inside. And I think that is something which is important. Caring, loving, and growing together.
Yep, confirmed.
Thank you, Ashok.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hopefully see you in India at the ambassador.
Yes,
I'm looking forward to see you as the ambassador here.
Yes, I hope I see him sometime soon. Just to brief everybody what we have in hand for tomorrow, a small responsibility which I need to do. Anjali Gupta wanted to ask a question. She's here. Can we take one more question, Jacek, if you have?
Yes, please.
Okay. Just a second, Anjali Gupta. I remember she raised her hand, but I did not see her around. Just a second. Go ahead, Ms. Anjali Gupta. Please introduce yourself if you don't mind. And then from where you are, what do you do? And then you can ask your questions. Hello. Ms. Gupta, you may ask a question now. Introduce yourself, ask a question. I think she's not there. Okay. So as I said, I will just, Jacek, just do the small formality. First of all, we are going to have these webinars on essence of life and growth 3 times in a week now, not every day, because we have planned a couple of other activities to go on every day. So we are going to have this webinar on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And for tomorrow, we have a workshop on how to research and publish. We have called in people from all over the world. We are having people from India, from editors from India, from US, United Kingdom, Japan, Switzerland. We are having Bala from US, Lynn from NYU, Lynn Martin from Cambridge, Junzo Watada from Waseda University, Gionavi from Switzerland, Bano from Turkey, Bharat from US, Valentina from Romania, and Sadar from Australia. These are the people who have joined. We may have one more person who may join, and it's going to be welcomed by Dr. B.P. Singh, who has been the 14th governor of Sikkim and has been Secretary Home and was an executive director of the World Bank while I was there at the World Bank around the same time. So we will have that tomorrow, and then day after, I have a young lady who is addressing the same forum, who has been my student, Zoya Shahid, who is in the UAE now and has worked with large number of organizations like Ernst & Young, Moody's, American Express, and Deutsche Bank in the past. And then we have some seminars on India's economic relief package by Professor J.D. Agarwal on the 5th, Trust and Human Core Value on the 6th by Professor Deepak Vora, and Economics of Pandemics on 12th by me, and Money and Wealth by Cryptocurrencies, and a couple of others. So I will close this. Thank you, Jacek, for your time, for your love and affection for me, for being here with me. And you're always there whenever I need you. Thank you. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Vande Mataram.
Thank you very much. Dziękuję bardzo. Thanks a lot. And good luck to everyone. All the best. All the